They called him Broken long before Mara learned his name. On the basalt plains of Karok's station's lower habitat, where gravity pulled a little too hard and the air always tasted faintly of iron, predator cubs were tested early. They were born to fight, to hunt, to survive. Anything less was weakness, and weakness was not forgiven. The cub lay alone near the heat vents, half his body twisted at an unnatural angle. One foreleg dragged uselessly when he tried to move. His breathing rattled, sharp and uneven, and every attempt to stand ended with him collapsing back onto the scorched stone. The other cubs didn't circle him. They didn't mock him. They ignored him. That, Mara would later learn, was far worse. Mara hadn't come to Karoks to play savior. She was a human engineer, contracted to maintain external plating and jury rig failing systems that no one else wanted to touch. Predator clans tolerated humans because humans fixed things. That was the agreement. Stay useful, stay alive. She noticed the cub because he didn't run when she approached. Every other cub scattered at the scent of a human. This one only lifted his head, golden eyes dull but watchful, as if expecting pain and ready to endure it. Mara crouched slowly, careful not to startle him. Up close, she could see the damage clearly. The bone in his foreleg had healed wrong, fused at an angle that would never bear weight. Scars crossed his ribs, old and poorly knit. "Hey," she murmured, voice low. "That looks like it hurts." The cub huffed, a sound halfway between a growl and a cough. Behind her, the low thunder of adult footsteps made the ground tremble. Clan sentries watched from a distance, massive shapes outlined by the red glow of the station's artificial dawn. They didn't intervene, didn't warn her away. To them, the cub was already dead. He just hadn't realized it yet. Mara stood and walked away. That night, she didn't sleep. Her mind kept replaying the way the cub had looked at her, not pleading, not afraid. Just waiting. As if the universe had already passed judgment, and he was ready to accept it. By morning cycle, she had a plan. The workshop was a mess of scrap alloy, cracked exosuit plates, and half-functional servo joints scavenged from obsolete mining drones. Mara worked in silence, cutting, reshaping, welding with the careful focus of someone who'd learned long ago that precision was the difference between survival and disaster. She wasn't building a weapon, she was building support. The armor frame was light but reinforced, designed to redistribute weight away from the damaged limb. Micro servos would compensate for lost muscle strength. Flexible plating allowed for growth. She adjusted tolerances again and again, knowing predator cubs didn't stay small for long. When she returned to the heat vents, the cub was still there. He tried to rise when he saw her. Failed, snarled in frustration. "I know," she said softly. "I know." The first fitting took hours. The cub snapped once, more from pain than aggression, but he didn't flee, didn't fight. When Mara finished and stepped back, the armor gleamed dull silver against his dark hide. "Try," she said. The cub hesitated. Then he stood. The armor hummed, servos engaging. His twisted leg straightened, not healed, but supported. For the first time, he took a step that didn't end in collapse. Then another. A low, stunned sound escaped his chest. From the shadows, the clan watched. The next day, the cub walked. The third day, he ran. By the seventh, he sparred. Not well. Not cleanly. But he stood his ground. That was when the elders came. They surrounded Mara as she adjusted a loose plate on the cub's flank, their presence suffocating, their eyes burning with ancient authority. "You interfere," the lead elder rumbled. "With our law." Mara didn't back away. Her hands stayed steady on the armor. "You let him die," she replied. "I didn't." The cub moved then, placing himself between Mara and the elders. His stance was imperfect, weight uneven, but defiant. A murmur rippled through the clan. The elder studied the armor, the cub, the human. "You bind him to you," it said. "With craft, with care." Mara swallowed. I gave him a chance. Silence stretched. Then the elder struck. The blow came fast, a test of reflex and resolve. The cub moved on instinct, armor responding instantly. He deflected the strike, skidded back, but stayed upright. The elder laughed, a deep, thunderous sound. Broken, it said. No longer. From that day, the cub trained openly. Other cubs watched. Some challenged him. He lost often, but he never yielded. The armor became a symbol, not of weakness, but of adaptation. Mara improved it constantly. Stronger joints, better balance. As the cub grew, so did the armor, until it was less support and more extension of his will. The clan began to change. Hunters asked questions. Warriors brought damaged gear to Mara's workshop. The idea that something broken could be reforged seeped into the clan's bones. Then the raiders came. They struck at night cycle, slipping past outer sensors with practiced ease. A rival clan, larger, crueler, seeking territory and resources. Alarms blared as claws met steel. Mara barely had time to seal her workshop before the station shook with impact. The cub, no, the warrior now, stood at the front line. His armor gleamed under emergency lights, scarred but functional. He moved with a fluidity that no one had expected, turning his former weakness into unpredictability. Mara watched from the control bay as feeds flickered with violence. Predator against predator, blood and fire. The raiders pushed hard, too hard. When the outer line faltered, a breach opened, straight toward the civilian quarters, toward Mara. The warrior saw it at the same time she did. He didn't hesitate. He broke formation and charged. His armor screamed under the strain as he slammed into the raiders, buying seconds. Then more. Each movement was deliberate, every strike fueled by something deeper than training. Loyalty. The clan rallied around him, drawn by his stand. What should have been a retreat became a counterattack. The raiders broke, then fled. When the last enemy ship vanished into the void, the station was silent. Mara found him slumped against a bulkhead, armor cracked, power cells glowing dangerously low. She knelt, hands shaking as she checked for injuries. "You idiot," she whispered. "You almost got yourself killed." He leaned into her touch, forehead resting briefly against her shoulder, a gesture she'd seen cubs use only with their dam. The elders arrived, forming a circle around them. The lead elder knelt. "Wisaw?" it said. "What you forged?" Mara opened her mouth, unsure what to say. The elder continued, voice carrying through the hall. "Not armor, not strength, purpose." One by one the clan knelt. A warrior's oath, ancient and binding, echoed through the chamber. They swore to defend the human who had refused to let one of theirs be discarded, to stand between her and any threat, to die if necessary in her name. Mara sat back, overwhelmed. All she'd done was fix something broken. The cub, her cub, lifted his head and gave a low, steady sound. Not a growl, a vow. And in that moment, the clan understood something profound. Humans didn't just survive among predators. They rebuilt them, and once reforged, some bonds could never be broken again.